coordinated airstrike campaign against the Islamic State militant group is continuing today. France is joining the American effort, launching its first airstrikes in Iraq. Meanwhile, the Islamic State is fighting to expand its territory, and it's threatening to seize a strategically located town on the Syrian border. That threat sent thousands of Syrian Kurds fleeing into Turkey today as they try to escape ISIS fighters. For more analysis on this ongoing effort to defeat the Islamic State, we're joined by Truman National Security Fellow Mike Lyons. Mike, thanks very much for being here. So what's your take on this coordinated airstrike effort so far?
So far, it doesn't look too coordinated. The French announced 24 hours ago that they were going to join in the airstrikes, and then they announced that they've hit a target inside of Iraq. The president had said that the United States was going to take responsibility for the synchronization of those targets. Now, I'm not saying that that should have been announced together, but it does seem like it was a little bit forward. Would have liked to have seen us possibly hit that target already. The president said we were going to be more reactive, so I was a little bit surprised to see that announcement.
Now, you are an Army major, so I think you know this better than most, but there are times we'll have these successful airstrike campaigns, and then as soon as they come to an end, all of a sudden insurgents rush in to sort of fill this power vacuum. How do you avoid having a similar fate take place now in Iraq and Syria?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This is, we'll all go for naught if we just decide that the air campaign thinks that we're going to win here. There's going to have to be a ground force that's going to have to go in, change the conditions on the ground, create a security environment, establish a political situation that's acceptable, and move forward from there. Now, the air allows that military on the ground time and space to blunt any advances the enemy makes. But it's not the end all. I think most military people will tell, every military person will tell you that. The question is, what's going to be that ground force?
Well, and that is a big question because we saw Congress yesterday approve the president's request to train foreign fighters on the ground. But if you look at kind of the crop of people to choose from, you're looking anti-Assad regime, anti-ISIS fighters. Who are these people?
Yeah, these are two different lanes, really. The Iraq situation was the Iraqi security forces, but this Free Syrian Army militia, so to speak, we still have to vet them. We're going to hand them equipment that could likely get turned over into ISIS. We don't know whether they're going to fight ISIS themselves or if they'll fight against the Assad government. It's unlikely also to take people off the battlefield, train them, put them back 6 months later, and expect the situation to be the same on the ground. They also could come under attack from the Assad regime while they're being trained. So there's many different variables and assumptions that we're making that think that's going to be successful.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But President Obama has promised that there will not be American forces in a combat role on the ground in Iraq. We're basically relying on airstrikes at this point. Do you think we can be successful with that kind of campaign?
Well, we'll have troops that'll be on the ground. That's clear. And they're already there right now. The U.S. military does three things. It trains soldiers, it provides ministerial support for soldiers like the Iraqi security forces, and it fights in combat. So we're just not going to do that third thing. There's no way that we're going to get by this without having more of that ministerial support of the Iraqi security forces so they have confidence in their equipment. We don't go to the situation where they're abandoning their vehicles, abandoning their equipment. We need success on the ground right now in Iraq.
All right, Mike Lyons, thanks very much for joining us.